Hello, everyone. I'm here with another episode of SAP CodeTalk. I'm here with Olga. Olga, would you care to introduce yourself?
Hi, Mamikin. Thank you very much for having me in this SAP Code Talk. I'm Olga Dolinskaja, I'm a product manager for ABAB platform. I've been with SAP for 24 years and since 15 years doing the rollout for ABAB platform topics as a product manager.
Nice. Now, Olga, we have some questions for you that the audience are curious about. So we can start off with the first one. Can you tell us a little about how you got started in SAP product management? Like, what inspired you to focus on the ABAP platform topic in general?
Actually, I started at SAP as Java developer for SAP GUI for Java. In 2000, Java was very new and very popular programming language among young graduates, and therefore I wanted to program in Java. I developed SAP GUI elements, integrated SAP GUI for Java into SAP mobile solutions and enterprise portal. But after some years of Java developments, I realized that I actually want to do more as only programming tasks. I had fun to explain the customers how our technology works and also wanted to better understand customer needs. And therefore, I changed to SAP NetWeaver product strategy. And there I organized customer workshops worldwide to collect their pain points with regards to supportability topics and channel their requirements into SAP NetWeaver portfolio investments. I came to ABAB platform product management by chance, actually, because of internal restructuring. The product definition was integrated into product management. And as I came to ABAB platform product management, I was very astonished because at that point of time, ABAB was underneath of all SAP products, and we were only 6 people doing product management for ABAB. The whole ABAB product management tasks were done by a development unit, and therefore I felt the need to help out, and I started to create the videos, to write blogs.
Yep.
At that time, the new ABAB debugger came out, and we were at the TechEd, and we had a lot of lectures dedicated to ABAB topics. We had the 4 hours add-ons dedicated only to custom code analysis tools. It was fun to see how many developers are around ABAB platform, how many interesting questions they have to ask, and therefore it motivates to do rollout. And still it's the case that ABAB platform currently has a lot of modernizations and evolved tremendously over years. And it motivates to give the people guidance who work with ABAB platform from customer and partner side.
Now, with over 15 plus years in the industry, I guess my question would be like, what have been some of the most exciting developments you've seen in the ABAP development and the testing tools?
Of course, in the area of ABAP troubleshooting tools, it was the ABAP debugger, which fully replaced the classic old-fashioned ABAP debugger. It was the SAT new runtime analysis for performance, memory, and program flow errors. From the ABAP testing tools perspective, it was ABAP unit, memory analyzer, and of course, remote ABAP test cockpit for static quality assurance of ABAP developments, and which is capable to act as remote hub and analyze different systems in the landscape centrally. Of course, the next one was ABAP development tools in Eclipse, which, by the way, celebrated its 10th anniversary last year, and now it's pretty mature development environment containing all the necessary tools for development, testing, and troubleshooting tasks, which really speed up developer productivity. After that, we have developed, based on ABAP Test Cockpit, custom code migration app, which is capable to analyze custom code during S4HANA system conversion for S4HANA readiness. Further on, we also extended the scope of the custom code migration app, and it's now capable also to analyze the code for ABAP Cloud and for migration to BTP ABAP environment. And finally, we have brought the ABAB, divided the scope of the custom code migration app and offered it as a part of so-called Cloud ATC. ABAB Test Cockpit is now available on SAP BTP centrally and can analyze on-premise systems for different quality issues.
Now, how do you ensure that the products that you manage truly meet the needs of your users? Like, what are their process and how do you actually see that those things come into fruition?
Okay, it's actually so that we have a huge advantage in ABAP platform that it's used internally by our ABAP developers, the developers of S/4HANA application stack. And they are, so to say, our early adopter of technology, and they had a chance to report their first feedback to the ABAP platform usage. Of course, we get a lot of customers and partners through our different customer engagements. For example, we work closely with different SAP user groups, especially to name there are a German user group, Dutch user group, and United Kingdom user group, which closely work to us. We have working groups, we have regular meetings, we provide so-called ABAP developer days where we roll out technology and get their feedback on this. Also, we have so-called SAP influence channels for different ABAP requirements, which customer can provide to us to channel them into development. And also at early development stages, we include interested customers as early adopters or beta testers for our technologies.
Okay. Now, me and you were at the Code Connect just last week. And I guess my question is, what are some what questions do you usually receive from these events that you go to? And I know you regularly speak at TechEd and other events like Code Connect. And what do you learn from them, from the attendees and their questions?
Okay. Actually, many questions relate to the actual presentation and understanding of its details. And from these questions, I can actually learn how to improve the quality of the presentation, its content, and also the content of the demo maybe. Very interesting are also the questions where the customers describe their particular use cases and asks how the tools or features help to solve their particular problems. And this kinds of questions helps to evaluate where we can provide better guidance and where we have really a lack or deficiency in the technology which we need to improve. Unfortunately, from the feedback that we get, I see that many questions show that the customers and partners are currently on older ABAP releases and are not capable to consume all the innovations. And this is actually the challenge that we have and face every day in ABAP product management. We need to build so-called bridge between the current customer situation and between the new innovations which we want customers to consume as soon as possible. And this is actually where we need to provide individual guidance for customers and partners for their particular use cases. And this is where we really work deeply with customers and partners.
Nice, nice. Now, can you maybe walk us through like the process of managing a product rollout for the ABAP platform?
Actually, our internal ABAP development is based on Scrum methodology and structured high level by so-called customer stories, where the different ABAP development topics are handled, for example, ABAP RESTful programming model, ABAP Cloud, custom core tools, and so on. And we have our internal roadmap, which is based on SAP ideas, our internal and external feedback. And we, as product managers, work closely with ABAP development leads together. and decide which features or capabilities should be relevant for external rollout and which kind of material do we need for them. Where we need to mention, for example, capability, a high-level SAP guide, where we need to create a PowerPoint presentation, where we need deep dive and create a developer tutorial, or for example, a video for SAP community or for YouTube channel, and so on. And also during this material creation, we need to ensure that the material, of course, compliant to one voice of SAP, and also we need to abstract from the details of the implementation of this particular capability and really ask the question which customer requirement gets satisfied through this delivered capability, or what is the motivation behind why customer should use this X or Y feature. And that's why here our skills are required as product managers to abstract from the implementation SAP internally and explain this capability externally for our customers and partners. And as I already said, we work closely with developer leads on particular topics, and also we have a plan which events are relevant for us throughout the year and where we have a chance to roll out our capabilities at the TechEd, at partner events, at developer days with SAP user groups, webinars, and so on. Of course, many things also happen ad hoc, like for example, if we get requests to do a webinar for a German SAP user group, then we do this for particular topic. And also, by the way, we need to take care of different program tasks, like for example, delivery of ABAB platform trials happens also out of our team through such program tasks.
Okay. Now, what makes like custom code migration tools for SAP S/4HANA and ABAP so crucial? And what should companies and partners know when they're considering these tools?
Actually, as you probably know, we are approaching the general end of maintenance of the traditional SAP Business Suite in 2027. And that's why the S/4HANA conversion projects became even more important for SAP customers and partners. There were a lot of custom applications which have been developed since years in business suite landscapes, and these applications must be taken over and made runnable in the S/4HANA environment. And the thing is that in the ABAB platform, we offer the tools which have the best analysis capabilities and the best adaptation capabilities for ABAB-based developments, like custom code migration app for custom code analysis and ABAB development tools with quick fixes for custom code adaptation. Very important is that custom code migration app can be run in SAP BTP ABAP environment. It can be run there for free. Only the entitlement to SAP BTP ABAP environment is needed. And currently, BTP ABAP environment has so-called hibernation mode, where you can just turn off the system and turn it on, for example, only for the analysis, and turn it off in order to save the costs for consumptions. After the custom code migration to SAP S/4HANA, the next very important topic for customers is, of course, how to approach the clean core for their particular S/4HANA system. And there, again, our tools come into play. Custom code migration app can analyze the existing system for ABAP cloud readiness, for clean core, with help of so-called codification repository, where all the released APIs are provided on the GitHub from the particular S/4HANA product, and is capable to give the prediction for the customers which issues are there in the custom code which must be adapted for clean core for cloud readiness. And again, ABAP development tools and Eclipse, if used in S/4HANA system of the newest release, starting with 2022, then the cloud readiness check with ABAP Test Cockpit in ABAP development tools and Eclipse will show which issues are in the code with regard to compatibility with ABAP Cloud and what is the success information in the system, how this code should be adapted for ABAP Cloud directly in the system. So these are the tools which accompany the customers from the business suite to S4HANA up to the clean core inside of S4HANA system. And beyond that, as I already said, for the clean core governance of customer landscapes, we have Cloud ATC. ABAP Desktop is now available on SAP BTP, which can be used for static quality assurance.
Okay. Okay. Now, looking ahead, what trends or innovations in the ABAP platform are you most excited about? I know when we were at CodeConnect, the keynote was on ABAP and AI. So, what are some of the trends that you're excited about, and how are you and your team preparing for those changes?
Mm-hmm. Since the ABAP platform is actually the foundation of the SAP mainstream products like S4HANA Public Cloud, S4HANA Private Cloud Edition, S4HANA On-Premise, and also SAP BTP ABAP environment, we have a lot of interesting topics around related to all these products. And the most exciting topic, which is all around, is of course the generative AI. And we want to use the generative AI also in ABAP in order to speed up ABAP development tasks by offering the capabilities to create the parts of the code of the whole ABAP cloud applications, including the test data, including the test classes, using AI. We want to use AI also to get support for transformation of legacy code to ABAP cloud inside of S4HANA system. And we want also to offer so-called AI SDK, which will enable the ABAP developers and customers to infuse AI into their own developments. Also, we want to deliver capabilities for ABAP Cloud to make ABAP Cloud, to lower the entry barrier, so to say, for ABAP Cloud, for new developers, for classic ABAP developers, and for also experienced ABAP developers. And we want to offer so-called guided tours for ABAP Cloud, which will help to learn the ABAP Cloud technology very quickly, and which will offer also direct access to different object generators or different wizards, which can speed up the development with ABAP Cloud. And also, we want to integrate more ABAP backend development with Fiori frontend development, so that you have the seamless transition via creating ABAP code and also creating the UI application on top in Business Application Studio. All these topics are very excited. We also want to support, by the way, the clean core and three-tier model adoption, three-tier extensibility model adoption side of S4HANA system. They want to focus on fostering quicker update cycles and also stability for that systems, S4HANA Private Cloud and S4HANA On-Premise. And we want to deliver so-called technical templates for technical setup of the three-tier models, and tools for adaptation of the three-tier model. And we want to, already said it, ABAP Cloud generation of the different wizards for ABAP Cloud, speed up developer productivity, and so on. And all these things are handled in these customer stories, as I already told you, and therefore we are, as product managers, are all involved in such customer stories, and we are accompanying the development inside of the customer story from very beginning. So we know what is happening there. We have a close contact to development leads, and in this way we ensure that we understand the technical context from the very beginning, and we are really good prepared for rollout. So we are in the middle of the development process. Yep. And we get the input which are relevant for us for later external rollout. This enables us to be well prepared for our product management tasks.
Okay. Now, you recently had a session here at ABAB Conf last week. Could you share maybe some highlights from your session and some key takeaways from your presentation?
Mm-hmm. This session was about the custom code transformation in S/4HANA private cloud edition and S/4HANA on-premise for the clean core. Basically, the challenge in this S/4HANA edition is handling of the classic legacy code at the same time and fostering the new developments with ABAP Cloud. And it happens based on the 3T extensibility model, whereby the tier 1 presents the new ABAP Cloud related development. Tier 2 serves as additional custom layer to enable for ABAP Cloud the SAP APIs which are not released. And tier 3 represents the legacy code. And actually, the main target is to reduce the amount of the legacy code in customer landscape and try to find the use cases which can be rebuilt with ABAP Cloud. And I handled in this session the options for the legacy code from the retirement of unused and obsolete code and up to the adaptation to ABAP Cloud, and also how our tools, custom code migration app and ABAP development tools with quick fixes help to analyze the code for ABAP Cloud and adapt it, and how ABAP Test Cockpit can be used as a central governance tool for clean core governance of S/4HANA landscapes. And by the way, we recommend to use ABAP Test Cockpit on BTP and for example, the security checks, code vulnerability analyzer checks can be used on BTP with ATC without any additional license fee. So I also gave the overview about our activities in the Gen AI area, where we want to use Gen AI in order to speed up the adaptation of the code for ABAP Cloud in the quick fix-like mode, like, for example, adapting the usage of unreleased API to a released publicly, to released SAP API. And also, we want to use the Gen AI in order to understand how the old code, legacy code, is built in order to get this input out of the code and use it as prompt for the AI for the new subsequent code generation with ABAP Cloud. By the way, I actually would recommend you to look into ABAP testing and analysis community. There you find a lot of materials which are dedicated to different custom code migration topics, especially into direction of ABAP Cloud, Clean Core, and so on.
Nice.
This is what the session was about.
Nice. Now, if you guys want to check out any of the work that Olga does, she has written numerous blog posts and is very active in the community. Don't feel free to just reach out to her through those platforms. And I will leave all of Olga's information under the link below. And Olga, I guess to end this code talk, we usually do some special questions and stuff like that. For me, I guess one of them would be, what would you prefer? Would you prefer working on ABAP on-prem or with VTP?
As I already said, we have a lot of investments currently which go to direction of ABAP Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer to work with ABAP Cloud anyways, be it S/4HANA Private Cloud Edition or be it BTP ABAP environment, but really evaluate what capabilities are there with ABAP Cloud and build the code clean core ready.
Nice. Thank you guys so much for joining our code talk today. And like I mentioned before, we'll have all of Olga's information below so you can be able to reach out to her and also see all the numerous works that she has worked on. And hopefully they'll see you at TechEd this year as well.
Let's see, maybe. Thank you very much. In any case, we will meet at Devtoberfest.
Yes, that's true. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.